Do you want to know how I make over $1 million with every single brand that I work with? In this video, I'm going to give you the secret, like the exact secret that everyone else isn't going to give you, and reveal the exact blueprint that's helped me scale multiple brands to 7 figures and more. I'm going to show you the same repeated crucial mistake I see every brand owner making that's probably costing you thousands in lost revenue. And this isn't just based on one success story, okay? Like, I've built multiple brands, multiple millions over the years I've been in ecom. So it's not just luck. It's not like a special hack that I just came across. This is literally a proven system. And today I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do to emulate it and copy it straight into your own brand. Alright guys, just peeling back the layers and showing you behind the scenes in one of my brands. You can see here, this is just trading 90-day revenue. Now in the top right, which is what I want you to pay attention to, you can see the conversion rate for the store is consistently between 3 and 4%, which probably puts this brand in the top 1% of ecom brands worldwide. Alright, so getting straight into it. This document I'm going to walk you through, I literally made this morning for a 2 million turnover a year brand. And this is an established company, okay? And the fact that we're actually remaking and going through this again, even at this stage, proves how important this is for brands to continually revisit and change, okay? It's not just, okay, we kind of understand our customer at a surface level. We really want to peel back the layers and want to understand what are the emotional drivers? Why are people buying? What's going on externally in their life that we can use or weaponize, for want of a better phrase, that we can then build into our marketing and really look for what I call harmonic resonance, okay? So let's get into it. This is like super relevant, and you can literally have this document as well. The link's going to be in the description. So without going into too much context, you find that so many brands, they hit a bit of like a revenue ceiling, and it's because they're really, I suppose they're just relying on outdated customer assumptions. And again, better reason for this document is this was the same reason for this brand, okay? You see a lot of marketers out there, they're making like emotional based decisions, or just assuming, which is a dangerous word, that they know more about the customers without actually verifying it, okay? And if you're looking to scale or even start your own brand, you'll find that getting good, solid avatars, even if it starts as an assumption in the beginning, is really important, because then you can then broaden, you can find new segments, as opposed to just kind of pushing to the same person. Because a lot of the times you find that whatever your initial hypothesis was on who is going to use this product, when you start speaking directly to your customers and you get real world insights, you find, oh, actually, there's a few pockets in here, or there's some trends around these type of customers, which then allows you to broaden your marketing. So not only are you going to hit like a broader demographic, it's obviously going to get you more sales, but it helps you kind of redirect and develop the brand as well, because it's a living, breathing system, and it always grows and evolves. And let's be honest, who doesn't want to try and expand your TAM, which is your target addressable market, and get more sales, okay? So the solution that I'm going to go to in here is just really having a good, thorough, in-depth understanding of exactly who it is that you're targeting, okay? And this is called your persona mapping. So high-level objectives here. Instead of just going surface level of what you think the problem is, we're going to go 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 levels deeper on exactly who it is that you're marketing to. So I want you to think, what is the first, second, third, and fourth order consequences of why your customers are buying from you? Very quickly go over a few reasons as to why this is important. So we're talking about like precision targeting. So again, being super specific and less broad, which just makes you, again, a way more efficient advertiser. Okay. And we're talking about being like hyper specific in the messaging, all right? And it needs to have like deep resonance that indirectly will get you more engagement. And ultimately, it's going to help with your conversion rate as well. You're going to be much efficient or more effective with your ad spend, because Facebook or Meta or TikTok or Google, whoever it is you're targeting, it knows exactly now who you're targeting to, all right? So your campaigns are actually going to the right people instead of casting a broad net, and you're just wasting spend on people who you're still paying to get your ad in front of, but they're just never going to buy. And that is so frustrating, particularly so if you don't have a big budget as well, all right? You can't afford to be wasting or dispersing spend on people who are not your target audience and will never buy from you, okay? The other reason is just trying to look for emotional resonance. So remember that we think our customers buy based on logic, because we're very kind of logically orientated, but most buy on emotion, all right? They justify it with logic. So if we can dig deeper, again, just below surface level, this is really going to help you craft messaging that actually connects with their core motivations, not the surface level ones. And I'm going to show you how to do this. We're also going to have much stronger brand positioning. So again, you're differentiating yourself from everything or everyone else in the market. Say you're selling a particular product, which is, I don't know, we could use an example of anything, but instead of you competing with everyone else in there, if you can carve out a niche, all of a sudden you now own this segment. And this is what enables you and facilitates you to build a brand or a bit of a protective moat around your brand. Okay, this is where the exit value comes in, and this is how you're able to differentiate yourself. On the back end, you're obviously going to have much higher LTV and retention because you're not selling to speculative customers. You're directly targeting and marketing to people who will actually get value from your product. So if it is a consumable, for example, say a supplement, they're going to come back. Okay, they're not just going to want it. They're not just going to they're going to buy it, use it once, and then discard it or forget about it. Okay, if you've targeted the right person, there's no reason they can't be like a customer over a long period of time, or they can also refer friends who are in the same circle who would also get value from your product. Okay, it will also indirectly help you get better product development. So if you're going back to R&D or you're looking for strategic points of difference, okay, because you're speaking directly to your customers, like your ideal customer, okay, everything is just going to be so much more effective, all right? Because you're going to be getting direct feedback from guys who actually use the product, as opposed to those who want to kind of bend it to fit something that doesn't really fit with your core hypothesis, okay? So again, there's so many benefits to doing this. And if you're not doing this at the moment, you can see I'm like not even halfway through the list yet, how much it's actually costing you, not just in revenue, but in opportunity cost, okay? Obviously, you're going to get more engaging content because it's actually going to hit the right people. Again, I mentioned before, but more word of mouth and organic growth, because if you're hitting that point of harmonic resonance with your messaging, most people who have a specific problem know others who also have specific problems, because we hang around in similar circles. Okay, so maybe you have a little bit more of a viral element towards it. When it comes to creating your actual, or commissioning your creative and your copywriting, all of a sudden now your visuals, the copywriting itself is actually going to be it's going to have so much more pull, because you're actually digging into your specific audience's fears, desires, pain points, all of the things that are important in any sort of marketing. Okay, and what does that mean? Better conversion rates. Okay, so again, this is all just going to make you way more efficient as a marketer. Again, we're looking at a better competitive edge. So, you know what I mean? Most people just stop at that surface level demographic, where if you're going deeper, it's going to give you much more of a unique advantage. And again, it's just all about messaging that helps you stand out from the competition. Again, particularly so if you're in a competitive market. And then more than anything else, and you can see this with the brand I showed you before, you have predictable scalability. It's not just I tried one thing once and it took off, but I have no idea how to repeat it. This is something when you really truly deeply understand, or you have a well-defined persona, it makes it so much more easier for you to replicate success and actually start to scale things efficiently. Okay, so remember, macro goal here is to obsess over your customer and make sure that you understand them more than they understand themselves. All right, this is how you create truly magnetic messaging that converts. All of this work, bring it together, more sales at a lower cost. And guys, find me a business. I challenge you, go out and find me a business who doesn't want more sales for a lower cost of acquisition, customer acquisition cost, CAC, whatever you want to talk it. It doesn't exist, all right? Everyone wants all the customers in the world at zero cost. And if you don't do this, if you skip this step, I mean, guys, I get so many coming to me in the one-to-one and the mentorship side of things. They have an idea, they have a brand, or they have kind of the pieces of brand, or they even have started to get sales, but they had absolutely nothing about exactly who they're selling to. And we can spend the first week just really drilling into this, all right? Now, disclaimer, the only real way for you to find this out is to obviously speak directly to your customers and develop a relationship with them. But when you're first starting out, if that's you, you have to start with a base hypothesis and you have to put that to market and you have to test it. But the closer you can get to your customers, your early adopters, the better. The faster you'll be able to make data-driven decisions. And let's be honest, in e-com, we are technically glorified data scientists, okay? So if we can remove assumption and be more pragmatic around actually understanding who it is buying from us, and then the reasons why, this is how we're actually able to progress and scale profitably, all right? So let's spend a little bit of time on how we actually build a data-driven avatar, okay? So we're talking here, instead of like guessing, like businesses actually need real customer insights that refine their avatars continuously, not just a one-time thing, okay? Now, I boil this down to 5 core elements. First one is identity, so who, focusing on the who, and it's more about who do the customers see themselves as, all right? Whether that's like, do they belong to like a particular bracket or demographic. I have a few examples here. Are they outdoorsy? Are they focused on quality? Are they eco-conscious? Just like more on the macro scale. Second one is what emotions trigger them, all right? And this is obviously around the product, whether you're selling convenience, time, quality, cost, whatever it is you're competing on. What is it that actually triggers the consumer's purchasing decisions, all right? Again, if we can get into the mind of the consumer, this is where we hit that point of harmonic messaging, all right? And we can build in things like nostalgia, like remember when, or we can build in scarcity or even status, because these are all things that make or encourage people to comment, like, share, and also, most importantly, to buy from us. Next one is, and these are more broad, these last couple of ones, but it's like generations. So is there any like world events or cultural shifts that have shaped their values? If you have more of a seasonal business, then when do your customers buy? Like, is it a particular, or maybe if it's not seasonal, is there like any data you can dig into on times of the week or day or year, whatever it is, just to kind of focus and understand what their actual buying patterns are. Again, if you know this, knowledge is power in this instance, okay? So the more we can dig into this, the more efficient we're going to be. And the last one, again, a little bit more broad, but like, what are the broader trends that influence their purchasing choices, all right? Now, for every answer, when we're going in and we're actually developing this customer persona, I want you to ask yourself, so what? And I want you to do this 2 or 3 times to really dig deep into the real reason why customers are buying from you. And let me just give you an example. So if we stick on the nutrition brand, let's just like do a real life example. So when we know we're selling to parents aren't the end user, it's their kids. Now, if we go surface level to start with, the reason I think a parent is going to buy from me is because their kids are fussy eaters. Okay, we've got an angle. Now we push back. Okay, so what? So now they're worried their kid is underfueled. They're worried it's going to impact their growth rate. They're worried they're not going to do well in exams. They're worried about body composition. Okay, so what? Now they're worried about health. Now, you see what I mean? Like, this is just like 3 levels deeper. We're actually getting to the root cause of what does this surface level problem actually mean in practical terms to this consumer. And once we understand this is the type of copywriting and language that we then build in across every single digital or even in-person touch point. Okay, so whether it's on your ad, landing page, retargeting, email marketing, social media, pretty much everything where you're able to directly communicate or have some sort of interaction with them. If we're hitting and boxing off these specific touch points around, or pain points rather, around why they're actually buying, this is what's going to incentivize them and get them over the edge, as opposed to just saying kids fuzzy eaters, ? Okay, we kind of know and understand that, but we want to understand, okay, so what? Like, what real life impact is this having? And then if you go a surface level below that, what are the emotions that stirred up? So are their parents worried? Are they concerned? You know what I mean? Like, these are like the force multipliers, if you like, when it comes to crafting your messaging. So that, again, it's such a simple thing. It was one of the first ecom mentors I hired back in 2018, 2019, who told me this, to sell you, ask them for you to sell them your product, if that makes sense. Okay, so say you've got a product, whatever it is, all right, I've got an Apple Watch here, all right, you're going to give it to them, okay, and they're going to ask you to sell it to them, all right, so they're going to ask, why should I buy this product? And you're going to say, I don't know, it's aesthetically pleasing, it tells the time, and they're going to, okay, so what? So now you're going to be more organized, you're going to look better in it, like all these things. Okay, so what? So then we get down to the deep reasons, the deep emotional triggers that actually make you want to buy this, and this is where the source lies, all right? And most people don't do this. They stick at level 1 or sometimes level 2, okay? But just ask them to keep pushing, and all they need to say is, okay, so what? But keep doing it until you can't answer anymore, all right? That's the point where you realize, okay, like, you start like grasping at straws, or maybe this, maybe that, and sometimes you hit on a good idea, and this is what I want you to build into your front-end marketing. Again, remember, we're trying to create harmonic messaging, all right? And by harmonic messaging, we're talking about frequency, and this is being on the same frequency as your customer, all right, in whatever state that they're in. And if you can describe that state in good detail, but in real concise language, this is what's going to get them over the line. This is what's going to convince them to buy, because they're going to be reading this and thinking, oh yeah, that's me. Yes, I'm having that problem. You've just described me perfectly. Okay, remember, people buy from people, particularly so people they like. And if they see themselves in your copywriting, in your creative, in your ads, images, videos, whatever media you want, this is where all of a sudden they feel more comfortable, because it's people who like look like them, talk like them, use the same language, have the same problems. So they have a much higher degree of confidence that whatever it is you're selling is actually going to do what it says or claims to do. All right. Now, again, I don't want to belabor the point too much, because that kind of summarizes it. But this is something you need to continually be doing and talking to your customers, and sometimes going out of your way to actually phone or email customers. You can build it into your automation flows, but it needs to be real data and not a guess. All right, remove assumption completely wherever possible. Just remember, like, whatever, like, understanding what truly drives your consumers' decisions, and I'm talking like beyond just basic demographics. This is what helps brands scale. It helps you on the retention, and ultimately what we're talking about, creating marketing messaging that actually resonates. Okay, so I hope this is useful. So when I was producing this document, again, I've just done it for the nutrition brand here. I've just replicated it and pivoted it a little bit. And I really wanted to see, okay, how deep are we going in this, and is there like a specific template that I can, or you can literally use and build into your own product? All right, so we'll go through this step by step, and you can literally just download this. Link will be in the description, and you can use it for your own brand. All right, so let's go through a real life example. Again, we'll stick with the nutrition brand here. Let's keep it all on topic. Now, for this, you can literally copy and paste all of this. All right, so if we go from here to, let's decide to go. Okay, so we go from here, and you can literally copy this into ChatGPT or whatever AI service that you're using. Make sure that whatever AI whatever you're using, it actually understands and knows what your product is first. So maybe add in your URL, teach it a little bit about who you think your product is, who you think your target demographic is, based on real, or again, it can be assumed information at the beginning, and ask it to fill this out. Okay, so literally just copy and paste this directly in, and tell AI to make a version of this, but for your own brand. And hopefully this is going to be useful. All right, so for this prompt particularly, I was looking for 3 separate demographics. Okay, because you'll find that there's multiple reasons why anyone buys your product, but that doesn't mean one reason is better than the other. They're generally very similar demographics, but they have slightly different problems. And it's important for you, when you're running ads on your front end, to be able to box off as many of these as possible. Again, if not, it's opportunity cost. So this first one, so we're talking on like a performance focused parent. So imagine parents at the side of the sports field cheering their kids on. Okay, this type of focused ones. All right. So again, we don't need, like, not all of this is actionable, but it's good just to kind of broad understanding, because every one of these points will relay back into some part of your e-com brand. So if we're looking at their income, okay, like if you understand how much, like, do they have disposable income, all of this sometimes can circle back to how much can you afford to charge, or how much is your pricing on your brand. Okay, so sometimes it might be subliminal, but there are things you can take out of this. So again, just understanding exactly who they are. So we're talking kids in competitive sport. They're actively involved in the development. I mean, they're busy. They're doing multiple practices, games, tournaments, and then we have the age range in here as well. Okay, again, really important, because we want to use a language that is applicable and suitable to that age range, and that can also be applicable to the platform that you market on as well. Psychographic is just kind of understanding, like, the way that they think. And again, if you understand the way that they think, this can help you positioning your copywriting or creative, again, or everything, like how it comes together on the back end within your digital plumbing, so your e-com structure, as to exactly what they're looking for. All right, if you understand that they're focused on health, they're focused on athletic development, but they're a bit research orientated, you can provide options if they're, say, slightly more analytical, and you can box that off. All right. So again, all of this information is useful, but it's not always directly applicable to, say, writing a specific ad copy. But remember, knowledge in this case is power. And the more you know and understand your consumer, the easier it's going to be for you to actually create messaging that has that harmonic resonance. And that's what we're focusing on in this video. Okay. Next one, behavioral patterns. So are they research orientated? Did they do like any sort of meal prep? Are they in like WhatsApp groups? Again, you can imagine this type of parent. All right. Again, like the reason this is important is because you can talk to this, all right? Or you can use specific reviews from parents where they see themselves in this, okay? Now, this is the big one. This is the one that you kind of want to be more focused on than anything else, is what are their pain points, all right? Remember, we're paid in direct proportion to the level of the problem or pain point that we solve. So the more you can push on these, I call it kicking their bruised knee. This is where you're actually going to be able to really kind of get underneath their skin a little bit and create messaging that's really going to pack a punch, okay? So you can also address all of these pain points specifically, whether it's on your ads or on your landing page or on your email marketing, for example, if it's like a welcome series or a abandoned flow, we're just talking all pre-purchase here, okay? Like, being able to address and box these off, what you're doing is you're anticipating the problem that the consumer's having. And because you're doing this, all of a sudden, whatever objections they're going to have, if you can think 1 or 2 steps ahead of them, you're going to box it off, because these objections technically are reasons not to buy. And if you give them reasons not to buy by not understanding why they wouldn't buy, again, it's opportunity cost. So again, just having this information is super important, okay? Next one, we're looking at purchase triggers. So this is like, okay, what's actually going to get them over the line? What incentivized them in the first place to actually research your product, okay? Like, is there a specific phase of growth or life, or are there things going on externally which is motivating them to buy? Okay, here we're talking about a coach's recommendation or a pediatrician, or the parents referring them, okay? All of these things sometimes become important because it's part of the bigger picture of why they're actually going to buy, and like the why is really important here, all right? The marketing position strategy. So this is, okay, we understand this psychographic, we understand this demographic, we understand the pain points. Now, how can we bring this together and start to craft or position our product or brand or service in a way where it's actually going to appeal? So this is where we're going to be able to kind of lean on all of this combined data to provide or craft copy that has that kind of resonance, all right? Whether it's like social proofing we're talking about here, so they have that identity match, so they're looking for things that are science-backed if they are more analytical, the messaging and how you refine that. So again, this is just creative copywriting, but the meta skill here really is being able to condense a lot of information into a one-liner, right? Best one ever done, I think every marketer in the world would agree, is, was it 1,000 songs in the palm of your hand, 1,000 songs in your pocket, something like that. So yeah, now from this is where we can actually develop our angles and campaign ideas. So if we're looking for external validation for this type of consumer, they value someone who's a doctor or nutritionist, whatever. Again, we're sticking to this example. This is what's going to more likely get them over the line when it comes to buying the product, as opposed to just kind of talking about features and benefits. All right. And if we understand this, again, this is all, when you bring this together, this is what's going to keep your marketing costs low. Okay. And for this brand, I can show you the ad account if you want. The cost of cost per acquisition is minimal, and it's infinitely scalable as well. So yeah, I hope that kind of explains. Now, I've done this across 3 different demographics here. So I've gone more health conscious, parent, and we've also gone more down the problem solver route, okay? Now, all of this information, you need to be able to package it and understand it in a way where it's directly applicable and you can build it into your ad copy, because understanding this is one thing. Like, it's fine to have this profile made out, but you actually need to be able to take some sort of formal steps on the back end so that you bring it together and put it into practice. And this is where the skill lies, all right? So if you, again, you can utilize AI, you can utilize ChatGPT to help you with this, but again, it all comes back down to the point that knowledge is power. And the more you understand, the more thoroughly you're able to really kind of get into the brain of your target consumer. This is how you craft harmonic resonance. And as you can see, all of this is taking me nearly 30 minutes to explain. This is what goes in behind the scenes of getting that one-liner, of understanding, okay, what sort of creative do I need to create? It's not just, let's just spitball and see what works. Like, you really need to be specific with this. And the more you understand them, the more data, real life data you get from consumers, the more you're able to kind of box off whatever the objections are, perceived objections, or if they have any problems with the product or the brand, or they have any, basically just understanding exactly why they're not going to buy and be able to box those off, anticipate them, and then create messaging that actually hits an emotional trigger with them. This is how you win this game. Okay. Now, again, use ChatGPT for this as well. I've got a little instruction here, so you can do it for your own brand. If you want access to the document as well, the link will be in the description. But remember, guys, the most important thing is actually taking action. So if you have an existing brand and you haven't done any avatar research in a while, revisit it. Use real life data from your consumers. Again, if you're not doing some form of post-purchase survey to understand why your consumers are buying, massive opportunity cost. If you're not directly outreaching via your customer service to speak to customers or get reviews, or you're not kind of going through all of your reviews and understanding exactly what made them buy or what their experience was, all of this stuff, again, massive opportunity cost. So you can do that. And if you're just starting out your own brand as well, yes, you need to start with the base assumption, but the key is to go as niche as possible, go as narrow as possible, and try and find a USP, like a unique selling point, or whether it's a unique selling mechanism that's going to differentiate you from all of the other brands out there. This is how you get ahead. This is how you create a scalable brand. This is how you create messaging that actually converts. Okay, so hope this is useful. Any questions, stick them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.